extreme west of Kabul city, there's a sprawling neighborhood which edges its way up the mountains, in which live an ethnic group called the Hazara people. The Hazara are the downtrodden tribe. They are partly downtrodden because they're not Pashtun, they're not Sunni, they're Shia, and they speak Farsi. And they have a long, long history of being the sort of, almost the slave trade. And into this region of West Kabul, during the terrible civil war in the 1990s, when the warlords were fighting each other, the front line between the different warlords went right in between the Hazara land, so it was like Sniper Alley, and people suffered enormously at that time. So, you know, it seems that they have a history of sufferance. During the time of the Taliban, they suffered even more because, of course, the Taliban are Sunni and they are Pashtun, and they really, really, really didn't like the Hazara people. And they really, really didn't like girls in particular and didn't allow them to go to school. So for many, many years during the Taliban time, girls sat in their houses behind high walls and were not allowed out. Now into this completely bombed out landscape, and there's some pictures outside there which look like Berlin after the war. I don't know what Berlin looked like after the war, but I've seen pictures of it. I mean, I wasn't around at the time. And came a man called Aziz Royesh, very small, wonderful, wonderful guy. I met him first in very late 2001. And he brought with him a school from a refugee camp in Pakistan. Once the Taliban had been routed, he arrived. And he set up this school in a bombed out building which didn't have a roof. And he divided this little room with a sheet to create 2 classrooms. And he had 30 students in 3 shifts. Some of them ranging in age from 7 to about 30, because of course there were people who missed out on education altogether for the last 10, 15 years. And some of them were carpet weavers, little children, because little children are better at carpet weaving because they've got little hands. And he ran 3 shifts, and these children were all absolutely avid to learn. And I was so impressed with what he was trying to do, because there was just nothing. It was mud floor, it was freezing cold. So I came back and I started raising money. Anyhow, to cut a long story short, the school did survive. It was the first tranche of money. He did something very clever. He repaired a larger building. He put a roof in it and he put heating in it. And what that meant was that everyone actually came to it during the winter because there's no other form of heating. And once the adults were there, he set up adult education classes, and gradually over time, he gained the confidence of the parents to allow their children, particularly their daughters, to go to school, because after all they were very frightened that it was dangerous for their daughters to go to school. The school began to flourish. He settled it into the local community. The local business donated some land for a building. The parents actually did the construction. Another local business gave him a bus so he could bring children from outlying areas to the school. The being rooted in the community was an incredibly important aspect of it. The school did flourish. It started off with 30 pupils. It now has nearly 3,000. And last year, what happened was that 96% of those children who took university entrance to the highly competitive Kabul University got into university, which is extremely difficult to do. This year, I was there in July, the Women's University of Bangladesh offers for the whole of South and Southeast Asia, South Asia, that is, the subcontinent, offers 16 scholarships per year, and my school, our school, your school, won 11 of them. So the school is actually providing an education for women and for men. It has a liberal arts curriculum. It teaches humanities, human rights, civic education, poetry, music, languages. It is a wonderful, thriving place where children are so excited to learn. That's the one thing that comes across, this excitement to learn. I believe that it is desperately important that we create a generation of leaders who do have access to information. And the only hope for Afghanistan, well, there are some other hopes, but one major hope is that they should be able to have an education. This school has been called by outsiders the St. Paul's of Kabul. Now let me just give you 3 reasons why I think it's worth continuing to support it. First of all, it exists, it's there, it's flourishing. There are no middlemen. Everything that we have goes straight to them. It's rooted in the community, therefore it is utterly sustainable. And above all, let me say to you that all of you here will know that the magic bullet in development is the education of girls. If you educate girls, you get development. And that is why I'm so passionate about the school. Thank you very much.